I was jobless for nearly 9 months, I guess, if I'm not wrong.
So friends, welcome back to our channel Learn with Gigs. Today I have invited Sai Ram, who recently has got a job of a data analyst and more importantly as a fresher after 9 months of career gap. His journey is really inspiring and motivating and you will definitely get a lot of insights from it. So do watch this video completely till the end and please do congratulate him in the comment box as he really deserves this appreciation as a fresher. So let's begin the video, and before that please do like this video, it really motivates me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to it, and you can also follow me on Instagram LearnWidGiggs.
Hello Sai, thank you so much for taking out your time and coming onto this channel. So we'll begin with your introduction first and also walk us through how your journey started towards data analytics.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Shashank, for welcoming me to this session. So, to say about myself, myself Sairam, and I'm from Chennai, Tamil Nadu. So, my journey into data analytics, the data field started at the end of my third year of my bachelor's of engineering. So, when I started this journey, there were two person who were put the strong foundation for me in this journey. The number one is code basics, which is the very first thing when I came to me when I searched for data analytics in YouTube was their personal finance project. So that's the first thing that established me to this journey. And the second part, which is I'm deeply grateful for it. That too happened is being a member of Chennai Data Circle. So it is a networking slash data community based in Chennai that conducts networking events, informative sessions, webinars, in-person events, and etc. Solely for data professionals in and around Chennai. So these two played a major role for me to achieve this position. So as of now, I'm working as a business intelligence analyst in Dentsu, which is an advertising slash marketing firm. So that's a small introduction of me and who I am. Forgot to mention my graduation. So I'm a 2024 passed out. So I did a bachelor's of engineering in computer science. I did my degree in Tier 3 college, and placements weren't much big thing over there.
So ultimately, you
Yeah.
didn't get any kind of placement from your college, and plus you're
No,
not applicable
no,
to
no, no.
also, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So before moving ahead, can you also tell us what were your learning resources to learn all the relevant skills of a data analyst?
Okay, for my learning curve, I need to address two key points that played a major role. The first thing is I'm like doing by learning guy, which means I learn everything by doing projects directly. So I'm not someone who goes through courses or who goes through watches videos a night long and do projects then after. So what I will be learning from is I directly pick a project, I pick a tutorial from a YouTube. I started learning directly right from the project. This is the first thing, and the second thing is till this date I haven't spent a single penny for any courses for anything. So I literally learned everything at free of cost in whole to cover data analytics and data field in whole. Code basics was a major player, so all their free videos and everything, so they played a major role for me. And for I have individual channels for each tech stack. I have a free code camp for Python, and for SQL I had Namaste SQL, and for Excel I had Chandu, and for Power BI I had your channel too, Learn with Gigs, that also played a major role. So thanks for that. So in addition to that, I refer multiple resources and multiple forums. So whenever I encounter a problem, I just directly go to Stack Overflow. So instead of just pasting the problem right in ChatGPT and getting the answer, I'm kind of old school guy. I go straight to the Stack Overflow and find my problems. I find to debug myself. So I think that's what helped me to learn what I have gathered right now.
So you learned all the skills by building projects which were available on YouTube for free, right?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Okay, so that's a great way of learning any kind of skill. So that's a good learning for the audience also who will be listening this, that everything is possible. You can learn things for free also, the way Sai has done.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said that you passed out in 2024. In which month you passed out?
Okay, I passed out on May 2024, and I guess I was jobless for nearly 9 months, I guess, if I'm not wrong.
Okay, so for 9 months you were jobless, right? So can you tell
Yeah.
the audience like what were your strategies that you implemented to get the interview calls?
Okay, so let me be frank with everyone who is watching this interview or watching this podcast or anything. So I was like jobless for 9 whole months. But in this 9 whole months, I won't say that I was being consistent every single day, learning every new tool or anything else. So like any of you, I've been following many content creators and professionals in LinkedIn. What everyone mentioned is, first thing they have mentioned is you need to have a strong skill set. Okay, checklist number one, I had that. The next thing what they have mentioned is you need to have a strong portfolio. I had that too. The next thing they have mentioned is you need to have a website to showcase your skills. I had that too. So then the next thing they have added is you need to have a strong network, which is also I have to. So like this, every checklist I have, like every checklist ticked. So even after having all these things, I wasn't getting jobless. So that's what I get to know, that what works for someone, that is not sure that it should work for everyone too. So that's when I got to know that having all these skills individually doesn't hold any single value. You need to have all these skills combined. So that's when you will be known as a potential candidate for recruiters. So there are two things that played a major role for me to land this job. The very first thing is network. I've already mentioned that I'm part of this community called Chin Data Circle. So I've been attending their meetups every single month, and I got to meet a lot of industry professionals, right from those who are doing internship to meeting like global heads of top MNC companies. So I had every contact and every network. So this helped me to have this network and strong confidence. The very second thing which helped me is having a strong portfolio. So I have prepared a portfolio that showcases my entire work. So whenever a recruiter wants to see my profile, the very first thing they do is, okay, this person has a portfolio. Let me see his piece of work. And when they see their work is okay, they're pretty much convinced that okay, this guy has a stuff that we can use for our organization. So I think that played a major role for me to land this job.
And what about the application strategies? Like, did you implement any, and what kind of platforms you use to apply?
Okay, actually, till this moment, I used maximum. I used Glassdoor for looking for jobs. So Glassdoor was my go-to thing, and I was also using LinkedIn too. But I'm not. I didn't use LinkedIn Easy Apply. Whenever I find a job in LinkedIn, what I do the next thing is I used to cross check the company's genuinity, because what happened, especially to those who are passed in 2024, is there were many companies posting fake job postings just to hire candidates and assigning them some other task. So a few of my friends were scammed in that type of postings and companies. So whenever I find some company posting an opportunity, I used to cross verify them. I used to see their reviews. I used to see their feedback and Glassdoor and everything. Only when I find whether they are a potential company, then only I try to apply. So that's what I do. This is the first thing before applying to any company. So the second thing what I did is I'll try to reach for referrals. So let's say I'm finding someone who is working as an analyst. I'm looking for a role as for an analyst in Dentsu. What I do is I'll just type analyst slash Dentsu in LinkedIn. So LinkedIn lists nearly 5 to 10 people. So what I do next is I'll find someone who is active in this field. So I'll try to give them a connection request, and instead of just asking them straight away referral, what I do is while giving the connection, there is an option you'll be sending a note. So it will be like less than 180 words. So I'll be short and crisp that myself Sairam and I'm a recent graduate. I'm doing this X and Y work, and this is my portfolio. If you find that I'm a potential candidate for your organization, please feel to refer me for this role. This is what we'll be posting for every referral messages. So what I feel is instead of just going and asking everyone for a referral, this would be like short and crisp, so that those person the opposite side won't be feeling any overwhelmed too. So this is how I asked the referral. And for this also, I've maintained a spreadsheet for to calculate what type of roles I have applied, what type of roles I've asked referral to. So I've also maintained this spreadsheet.
Okay, so can you show us how did you maintain that spreadsheet? Because if you'll explain it, people can also do the same thing, and it can help them in their career. So can you please share that?
Okay, this is a rough example of how I maintain. Actually, this list isn't accurate. I've missed few companies and few roles might be mismatching. So these are the list of companies I've applied. This is like part one of how much I applied. So these are a few companies which I have applied. So in this spreadsheet, you can clearly see that the name of company, the date which I have applied, the location of the company, the role which I'm applying to, the platform which the role was posted. So let's say I applied for this role as ETL data analyst in Lumal. So the platform was they have their own portal. So I uploaded in own portal, and I haven't had a referral for this. So these kind of an application status, type of application, everything. So what I did is I added this conditional column, which is job status. So whenever I apply this, the very first thing I do is I click this applied thing. So I will see for the messages and any updates. If I haven't got any updates for in a long time, I'll just click no call. So
Right.
if I'm getting an rejection or interview, I'll just select anything, whichever is possible. So and in another column, I had a column which is detailed status, which is I add any notes that I need to add for myself to refer in future. So these are some kind of notes I've added for what I took this from my learnings.
Yeah, that's a great way of maintaining an Excel sheet. And also, if you're getting some kind of referral, also, so you can also include that in the referral column. So overall, in how many companies you applied in total?
To be frank, I'm not someone who applies like 10 to 20 companies per day. I pick hardly 2 to 3 companies per day. I used to cross verify their company's profile and what they're actually doing and apply them patiently. So if I'm not wrong, I would have applied nearly 70 to 90 companies over the past 9 months.
Like walk us through how you created your resume as a fresher, right?
Since I've already mentioned that I'm a fresher, I don't have any experience to add in my resume. So the very first section I have added is my contact details. In this thing, if you clearly see that, I've also mentioned my link to my portfolio. I'll be sharing that sometime soon. So the very next section I added is my education. So I did my bachelor's in computer science and engineering in Hindustan College of Engineering, and I have a pretty much decent CGPA too, I guess. So right next to it, I added my technical skills, which is I added these skills because I'm strong in it. Instead of adding every skill, everything I know, I just added few tools which I'm pretty confident that I can able to master myself in a short span of time. So for this, I mentioned the programming languages which I know, the databases, the BI tool, and few concepts in ML and statistics, and also the cloud. And also I've added a separate column for functional area where I am strong in working. So in this, you can see that I'm strong in ETL processing, data transformation, data modeling, and etc. etc. So the most important part of any fresher's resume is this section called projects. So these three projects are my main highlighted projects. The very first thing is data cleaning tool. If you're someone who has followed me for quite some time, you would have known. But for someone who is watching it for the very first time, I'd like to share thing. So I was preparing a day in my 9 months of time. I wouldn't say that I was being free all the time. So what I was doing all this time was I was doing real industry level projects. So one of this example is this data cleaning tool, kind of similar to data refinery by Google. So this tool is used for entire data wrangling and data transformation processes. So I just ideated this tool. This tool is currently in production, and I haven't had much time to work on it later on. So the very next thing I had is my Power BI project, the comprehensive analysis of Indian EV market. So this project is the project I've done is I think resume project challenge 12, I guess. That's from code basics. And the third project is analysis of a PTP, which is also a project of code basic resume project challenge. So I've added their project challenges in my resume too.
So all these project
So
challenges are free of cost, right?
yeah, everything is free of cost. Everything is free of cost, and I've did every project. And in doing these project challenges too, what I did is instead of just doing the task which they have assigned, and instead of doing the task with their data, what I did for this second project, which is the EV market, code basics have provided, if I'm not wrong, just 3 years of Indian EV sales data. What I did here is I've just opened e-Parivahan, I web scraped 21 years of the entire Indian industry's EV data, and I use this data for this detailed analysis. And for the second thing, what I did is instead of just sticking with the traditional visualization charts and everything, I've tried other charts which might be adding more meaning to this presentation. So I was also always doing out of box for each project to show my uniqueness. So this is how I did my projects. So, and at the end of the resume, as you all know, the section which is mandatory, the leadership roles, a few certifications, and extracurricular activities. Yeah.
So what was the ATS score?
AT score was close to 92, I guess. The last time when I checked, it was close to 92.
Okay. And also,
Yeah.
friends, you can learn from Sai that you need to have unique projects in your resume. It's very important to make yourself stand out from the crowd, and that's where your chances of getting selection will be increased the way it had happened. It has happened for Sai. Also, Sai, can you also
Yeah.
talk us about your portfolio? How did you create it, and how we can create it for
Yeah,
free?
sure. So this is my portfolio. Made it in a pretty simple manner, just the right content which needs to fall in the recruiter's eye. So when this portfolio opens, I have a small description of myself and what roles that I'm doing, few tech stack what I'm strong on, and another section where I was part of this training data circle and attended this networking events. So these are few snapshots from the networking events that I've attended in the past 9 months. And I've added a section for resume. So this section contains my education history, my volunteering part, and my skills. So when someone clicks this download resume, you can find my resume over there. So this is for that. And for portfolio, which is the main part of this website is, so I did these amount of projects and I've categorized them into Power BI. So when someone clicks Power BI, you can see all my Power BI projects. And if someone clicks Python, these are my Python projects, and vice versa. So in also doing this projects, what I would advise to my uh, peers is don't do projects for sake of counts. It doesn't matter you have 20 Python projects or 4 Python projects. What matters is the quality of the project, the innovation that you have added in that project. That's what matters. Because while hiring you, no one looks that, okay, this person has done 20 projects, so he is more skilled. So this person has done only 4 projects, he doesn't have much skill. So industry doesn't work in that way. Either you do a single project, make sure that you give a full interest and confidence to that project, drive in the innovation, and try to do something unique and make them stand out in the crowd. So this is the thing you need to make sure to have in your portfolio.
So thank you so much, Sai, again for coming and sharing your amazing journey. And people will definitely get motivated from your journey as a fresher to move ahead in your careers. Thank you so much again for coming.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Bye.